Hello everyone and welcome back. Today I have for you a windmill or a house mill, whatever you want to call it. This took a little while to build and I'm going to break it down into segments for this because it will be tricky if I just do it all at once with the framing and whatnot. So it's better off to be broken down into parts and pieces. So we're going to break this build down into parts, and we're going to start here on the lower portion, which is a simple 5x5 square. And I'm going to be using stone material for this, just a basic stone, and then I'll be changing that afterwards. So use whatever material, any stony material that you have easy access to. Now I'm going to do an adjoining square, which will only be a 4x3, and that 4 is going to extend out one in from a corner. Next, we're going to raise all the posts, or at least the large square first, a total of 5 more times, and then the small square a total of 3 times, and then bring those to a peak. And, of course, a floor for your choice. I'm going to use stone bricks, and then a mixture of mossy stone bricks and cracked stone bricks. And then I also cut out a spot for the door. Then here on the door, I'm going to use the stripped oak logs here in the front and the back, up a total of 3 tall on both sides, actually 4 on the back, and then just using like the classic window shape over the top there as the archway, and then filling the rest in with stone material as well. Now around the base of the build at the corners, I'm adding feet just to give the build a little more support, and then I'm adding feet on the large upper square and all corners except here in the rear, and now I'm just adding in a mixture of textures to break up the single stone look. And then one little minor detail here on the side, where the small building is not, we're adding a window that is roughly 4 tall from the base, and then adding the stone arch at the top. And then to continue here at the bottom, we're going to use our deep slate tiles, staircases all the way up to the top, and then use the slabs at the top there with the lantern on the front. Now for the stairs, we're going to start here in the corner and then work our way up. Now don't mind the one staircase going over the top, as that is necessary because we'll be extending the roof or the next floor a tad. So starting here at the top, or the second floor, on top of the feet, we're going to place the logs upright and then connect them across. And then we're just going to drag the oak planks on the side where the staircase is not. And then for the front, we're going to come out another 3 times and then link those up with the logs facing upright in the corners. And then of course finish off the floor. And then I'm just placing the logs to make it look a little better in certain spots. Next, I'm going to raise all the posts by a total of 5, and then connect up the rear. Then here in the front, we're going to do the pitched roof, a 2, a 1, and then a 2, or again, to the peaked roof. Next, a wall of your choice. I'm going to use calcite as I did for the showcase build, and we're just going to wall up to the height of the entirety of the build. So for the interior here, I'm going to break where the posts are, upright like that, and I'm going to replace those with logs, the knots pointing out. And then beside one of them, I'm going to use the ladders because unfortunately it's a lot more difficult to use stairs in this build. So just follow along with the planks here and whatnot for the next floor, and then I'm going to clean it up and continue up. Now for the tall part of the build, we want to raise the posts a total of 10 tall and then link those at the very top. And then of course, fill it in with the wall of your choice all the way around, and then just kind of clean up where the points don't connect. So here at the top of the build, where all the logs are upright, we're going to place staircases all the way around upside down, including the spot I missed. And then here on the side that overhangs the rooftop, we're going to drag the log across, and then I just added a little bracing underneath. And then here on the door side, we're going to raise those a total of 5 tall, and then come to a peaked roof with a 2 and a 1 and a 1. And then do the same on the back there. But don't forget the cross log right there on the bottom. And then on the side that overhangs the small little barn that's on the ground floor level, we're going to raise posts to the same height as the original roof, and then one in, after we do the crossbar, we're going to come out a total of 2, and then on the third one, we're going to go up at 1, and then cross over. And then, of course, go to a peaked roof with a 2 and a 1. It's the same height as the main roof. And then, of course, a wall of your choice. I'm going to use the calcite as the rest of the build, and then the oak planks there on the floor. Now, you'll notice on the small addition, I went up 1 level. That's fine because this one should be raised up a little bit higher and you lose a little bit more space, but that's fine. And then for the rest of the build, I am just cleaning it up and dragging the logs across where it's necessary to make placing the roof a lot easier. Now we're just about ready to start detailing, but before we do that, we got the roof to do. So I'm going to cut down that one log down to size just by one because it's a little too high for the overhang to work. And then of course, just for the roof, all we're doing is following along with the deep slate tile, the logs, and with an overhang of one, except for where the slabs are at the very top, we're going to go out one more. But before I get to detailing the backside, or finishing the roof on the backside rather, I'm going to show you the details of the little front window here. Now, I'm not going to be doing the details for every side because most of it is repetitive, so just keep an eye on how I do this here. I'm mostly using the stairs to brace in certain spots with the fences in other areas and the spruce trapdoors rather, around the windows. And then on the underside here, just to give the build a little bit more support feeling that it should have, I have the logs and the staircases. Now for the back side, we're just going to continue along with the roof. And then the wall here would be a little too small for a decent window, so I'm just going to brace the backside with some logs up and down and some staircases just to give it a little more shape and something to look at. And then again here on the back window, now remember this window is not over the door at the very bottom. This one's on the opposite side. And again, we're just going to do the same thing as the other window. Now the only side that will be different than the rest will be here, which is over the front door. We're going to use the staircases to brace it, but then here in the center, at the very center, we want a log to jut out from the middle. Now this is going to go out a total of 4 times because we want it to be far away enough from the building for the Windblade. Excuse me. Now further down the build, we're going to place the rooftop on the little half building that's sticking out of the side. And then of course we're going to detail the front of the building how I always do it. And it's pretty much the same as the rest of the build except for the staircases at the top and the fences along the side with a little bit of overhang. And I'm just going to show some off the sides here because both sides will be mirrored, so they'll be exactly the same except for the back. The back will be the only part that's different, but again it's very similar to the rest of the build. So all we need now are the staircases that go up to the very top of the tower. So once you climb up this ladder here, we're going to come out to this spot here, and then 1 block away from this corner wall, we're going to cut out a spot of 2, and then another spot of 2, oop, not there, I'm going to go up 1 higher, another spot of 2 right there, and now we're just going to continue with our staircase all the way up, well, not quite all the way up, but about a majority of the way, to right about this point. And then from here, we're going to use a ladder system the rest of the way just to save on space. And there we have it. We now have access to the top floor, and we added 2 windows in. Now don't mind the dirt, you'll see that later on. I just wanted to make this spot a little more clear than the first time I did it. So for this part of the build, it's going to be the same thing on both sides, but we're just going to do the classic window with the staircases over the top and the fence posts stretching all the way up and down just to give the building a little more something to look at. Then here on the big face, again, it's just more repetitive details, just to where there's no window. It needs a little more life than just a straight up calcite wall. And then this final wall right here is the same thing that we just did on the opposite side. Alright, so for the Windblade here, we're going to show you a little up close first, then I'll probably return to the sky view here. But to do the Windblade, what we're going to do is go up 1, 2, and 3. Make sure you are 3 away or 4 logs out from the building. You want a space here so it doesn't touch the side. So what I'm going to do is go up 3 planks, then I'm going to go in 2, like this, then I'm going to go 1, 1, then I'm going to go back to 2, then we're going to go back to 3, just like that. So the idea is just to mirror the Windblade as best we can. So I'm going to come out 3, then I'm going to go up 1 and over 2, then up 1, then 1, then we're going to go up 1 again, but they're going to go up 2, and then 3 to finish it off. So now we kind of get in this funky shape here. And we're gonna do now we want to use our fences. So to use the fences, I don't go to the center here, but I'm going to start 1 away, and I'm just going to follow on top of all the oak planks, like this. And then for this final one, I'm just going to extend it out by 2, or you could just do 1, it doesn't have to be 2. And then on top of that, You can make any sort of fan pattern design that you want, as there really is no true number. But the idea is to go up 1 and then 2. We want to try and give this a fan blade appearance as much as possible. But it's a little hard with the amount of room that we have. There's not too much, but you know, I'm actually quite happy with that look right there. And then I'm going to mix in some gray wool, just like that, just to give it some different textures to look at. And then I'm going to do that for the rest of the blades. And there we have it, a windmill, or a house mill, whatever you want to call it, whatever you want to do with it. For future builds, I have a short list still of medieval stuff, maybe some simpler builds. This will definitely get chalked up as a challenge build, but of course, if you guys enjoy what I'm doing, please let me know in the comment section, or even leave a like and a subscribe. It really does help keep me motivated to keep right on going. But with that said, as always, until next time, see you later.